Hi, Janvi. This is Dinesh Thakur, and I really congratulate you for being the Golfer of the Month on 4moles.com.
Thank
Uh,
you.
you're most welcome. So, I'd like to get the viewers to hear about you, your journey of being a professional golfer. I believe you're 18 years old, and what all have
Correct.
you gone through? And just want to hear your, incredible achievements and learnings that you've had till now.
Uh, Thank you, first of all, for having me here and nominating me as the Golfer of the Month at such a big stage. I'm really honored to be chosen for this. My journey has been quite eventful. I started playing when I was 8 years old, back in 2011. It's almost been 10 years now, 18. So it's been quite a lot of ups and downs. I mean, and this age, you're trying to study and, trying to play and both of the things. So the funny thing is, I wasn't actually planning to play golf for this long. I was, so our parents wanted us to be in some sports in the beginning. So like, to not to just, all play and all study and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right?
Right.
So they wanted us to be in some sports and build some character and be vibrant and all that. So we tried all the sports, didn't quite like them, and then our grandfather suggested to try out golf. So initially, I never used to play at the golf because I just used to go and play in the sand and chase around squirrels.
Right.
So then I, sat down and watched my parents, playing, and then I was like, hey, I want to try this too. And then slowly and slowly, I started picking it up, and then I'm into competitions. And once you get the kick of the adrenaline, you taste that, and you're like, I can't leave it now. So you're back at the golf course day after day after day after day, and then just keep on picking it up.
Right.
Then, I started off as a junior playing. I didn't win quite a lot, I was just playing, practicing, just that. I didn't care about that much because I was suddenly this long-term goal came into me that, okay, you know what, I need to be good at this sport. So for that, I'll need to have some good practice, good coaching, and all of that. So from that moment onwards, when I entered the first few events and I realized where I stand, I said, okay, now I need to chart out my plan. I can't just, blindly keep hitting balls. So I consulted my coach, Anitya Chand sir. He was at the Army Golf Course where I first began playing from the beginning itself. So, it's been 10 years since I've
Right.
been under him and Karan sir and the DLF. So we sat down together and we had a plan charted out that okay, now this is how we're gonna uh, plan everything. So yeah, then I was focusing. Okay, this is how it goes, and then I started playing well, and then my performance started improving, and then in 2018 I became the number one amateur at the national level.
At the IG
The
level.
I At the IG, the Indian Golf Union, I finished first for the Order of Merit, and then in 2019 I made it to the national squad, and I represented India in 5 countries over 6 events. And then finally 2020 I turned to professional, and I won recently in 2021, the fifth leg
Great
of
journey.
the European.
Janvi, that's great to hear. So, what made you really, embrace this sport? And I'm sure there are some inspirations. Would you like to give credit to a shared credit to your coach and your parents where you've reached, or is it? How do you tell your viewers? I'm sure there are parents who would listen to you. I'm sure they would like to get some inspiration for their kids as well. Where do you feel that they should concentrate if they really want to take the path that you've taken?
It begins with letting the player do what they want to do. You can't ever force their will. Children don't listen to you, they imitate you. That is the biggest lesson everyone needs to learn.
Well said.
I
Well said.
never started golf because my mother gave me the club and said, go hit. No, I just tagged along and I saw her hitting golf balls. I saw my father hitting golf balls. My sister saw me hitting golf balls, and we took it up on it at our own will. I mean, we used, like I told you, like we used to chase around squirrels and all. They didn't stop us. They said, okay, fine, they're at least here with us, right? So eventually my attention went there, and then I hit the first ball. I couldn't hit it, so I was determined that okay, I need to get it. And then I hit the first ball, and then I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I keep on doing better. I hold my first putt. I'm like, okay, I want to hold more. So you can't impose your will, never ever. for all the parents who are out there watching me, just let your kid do what they want to do, because if you leave kids to their own, they can discipline themselves at amazing levels. Once you reach a certain level, once you start succeeding, like I myself decided that I'm not going to have any junk food. I'm not going to drink sodas. It's been around 8, 10 years since I haven't drunk sodas and
Now,
all, colas and all. So, and we have a fixed schedule that, I myself strictly go to bed by 9:30. I wake up early, 5:36, and I do this by myself. I don't need my mom keep on nagging me that, okay, now go to bed, or, get up, eat this, eat that. No, because I recognize what my potential is and what my goal is. I have created those standards for myself and I follow them myself. I don't need someone to, keep pushing me. So as parents, you could, always encourage your child no matter
yeah,
what.
parents and the coach are the supports. The actual
Yeah,
discipline and the actual focus has to be of the player. That's the way you
correct.
actually.
And
Awesome.
I know,
That's
I understand that, children might not always pick up the sport and you would still want them to pick up the sport. So then, you need to be creative with, giving them rewards and treats that, okay, fine, if you hit 50 balls today, I'll, let them
junior events.
earn their peace.
Junior events
Like,
could do a
let them
great.
earn their rewards. Yeah,
I think the junior events does a great advantage to kids when they come and win
yeah.
some certificates or they win, some of the smaller events, and that gives them the idea of achievement. And if you're achieving something, that gives the golfer or the child to say, "Okay, I won something." So that's where they start to work harder on it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Janvi, as a professional, where and what do you want to achieve next? Where do you go from here?
I'm looking forward to clearing the Q school for the LPGA, and I really want to go there. And my ultimate goal is to enter into the LPGA Hall of Fame. So I really,
Nice.
really hope that this comes true, and I'm working hard towards it. Charting out everything carefully.
Janvi, one question around the professional domain of women's golf. The Honda LPG is happening next week at Pattaya. And again, we are the digital exclusive media partners for Honda LPGA for the last 4 years. But again, we don't see any Indian girls there. What would be the reason for that? I mean, just a very top end view, because you've been then with the girls and you've been in the industry for a decent amount. Why aren't we seeing that, Indian girls representing us at these world stage levels?
Initially, it was a problem of recognition. Most even I didn't know about the existence of WGI before, like prior to a few years. So
Right.
now that that era of girls, that generation of girls are coming, they are participating, they are in the making now because they know that WGI and a platform like that exists for professional women. So my generation and the generation next to me, they know the juniors that are currently in the IGO and the amateurs that are present there, they would be the ones who would come.
Okay.
So they're not there now, but they'll be there soon.
Awesome. Good to hear. Last but not the least, Janvi, professional golf industry in India. It's an expensive sport. You and me both know it. I'm sure your
Yeah.
parents know it more. But what are the returns? I mean, I'm aware that a lot of parents put their kids for better education because then you get seats in very good universities. But over and above that, what is there for the sport to give back to the player? Um, what's your view on it? I mean, another 5 years of 6 years, I understand sponsorships are important, but how do you really, get it bigger in India? I know US is big, Europe is big, Southeast Asia, Thailand is massive, but what would be your, your desire or your wish list that I wish I could get that kind of a support by the next 5 years for me to grow and for the sport to grow. At the end, even a sponsor puts in money is for a reason that they would get it back. So, any thoughts on that?
Just like you said right now, that US, Europe, Thailand is big. They're big because the government recognizes the sport. They recognize the industry and the tourism that can come associating with the sport. If you talk about my wish list, I'd want this sport to get the government's attention. I'd want the government to see the vision, the potential of the sport. Like Thailand, you said it's massive. Why? Because its entire tourism industry is focused on golf courses. all their golf courses are by seasides and beach sides, which makes it a perfect, tourism location, and they allow that. Whereas in India, they don't recognize it that much because obviously we've got other problems at hand. But
Members,
yeah, in the
members.
next 5 years, I would hope.
They're more
Yeah,
member-based clubs. That's okay. Fair enough.
yeah. So I hope like in the next 5 years, the government will give this industry more attention. And of course, at the junior level, these all the other countries are also performing well. So I'd want the juniors also to get something because we've got over 500 golf courses in India. Even if we pick one girl, one guy out of there, and train them to be good enough, I don't think so. We'd have any less of the competition. We'd give
Right.
them a good challenge.
Correct. Awesome. Janvi, thank you so much. Congratulations once again for being Golfer of the Month. And please do give my regards and affection to your parents. Please stay safe. These are tough times and all the best.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Janvi. Do well.